Actually, before I forget, if you could drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you know I make content like this every single day, pretty much twice daily at the moment, and these are the kind of videos I'll be making, so just doing that, it really helps out how the video goes, and sometimes I forget because I'm getting caught up in this playoff environment, but that would be cool. Yes, sir. That is what I love to see. There was no person I was rooting for more in these playoffs than Trae Young to come out and prove everyone wrong. Because for some reason, since he's entered the league, since he was in college, people hated this guy. For some reason, I've never understood it. Yeah, sure, he draws some fouls. Every point guard in the league does that. But for some reason, Trae Young gets the stick. Oh, he can't defend. How many other star point guards can't defend? For some reason, Trae Young gets all the stick for that. Oh, when he was putting up good numbers on a bad team, it was his fault. Even though when he went to the bench, they were awful. They were awful when he went to the bench last year. This season, he puts up great numbers on a good team, a fifth-seeded team, and all of a sudden, it's still not good enough until he proves himself in the playoffs. Okay, how about 30-10 in your first playoff game in a packed Madison Square Garden against one of the best defenses in the league, including making a clutch shot to win the game and making about 4 clutch assists and some clutch plays down the stretch. Sound good? Does that sound good? Trae haters? Trae haters? No, but seriously, Trae Young delivered. I'm not some Trae stan, but when someone gets all this hate for absolutely no reason, or at least for very little reason, sure, he foul baits a bit, like, come on. That's just not enough reason when every other player in the league is trying to do the same thing. For some reason, he gets all of the hate, and well, he turned that hate into a huge win away from home. And forgetting about Trae, this game was insane. The best game of the playoffs so far. When you mix in the atmosphere, which was amazing, you mix in clutch shots hit by my boy Bogey as well. Hit back-to-back clutch threes. One of them was a great find by Trae. The other one was the one where the play was disrupted. Someone got his hand in the passing lane. The Knicks were up 3 points. Bogey gets the ball back, dribbles, hits a 3 to tie the game. Biggest 3 of the game for the Hawks. That kept them in it. He's been in this environment before. He's played in Europe. I'm pretty sure he's won EuroLeague championships. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's won championships. I know he's been a big-time performer in Europe, so acting like this is his first playoff series. Now, he's been in this environment before, and it showed because back-to-back clutch threes. He made clutch plays. Trae Young made clutch plays. It was just an overall fantastic game. The Knicks played great as well. The atmosphere was unbelievable. You could hear it through the screen. Obviously, I wasn't there, but you could hear it through the screen, and just in general, in terms of other things to take out of the game, Alec Burks, are you okay? Are you okay? What the hell? I knew Alec Burks was solid. He's having a good season, like a really solid season, but he just went ballistic. He didn't miss. He missed one shot right at the end, which kind of sucks because it would have been cool to see him hit a game winner or close to a game winner, whatever it was at that point in time with a minute left, I believe it was. But he was amazing. You can't blame him for anything. Even at the end when he found Rose, when he found Gibson, who found Rose, just the right decision to make. And he made so many right decisions. Him and Rose off the bench, I mean, just buckets, just straight buckets. Those guys are different coming off the bench, and they're the biggest reason why the Knicks were still in the game. They're the biggest reason why the Knicks were really close to winning this game, and that would have been something in front of Madison Square Garden. It was just an amazing game in so many ways. Trae Young proving everyone wrong, Bogdanovic hitting clutch threes, the Knicks playing fantastic on both ends of the floor, the fans being engaged. In terms of anything to take away from it, Julius Randle had a terrible game. A awful game. We're not going to get on here and just slander him for one bad game. Unbelievable season. I think he'll bounce back. I'm pretty confident he'll bounce back. But 6 of 23, 15 points, including that last shot, which got overshadowed because Rose ended up hitting the floater. The side of the backboard on a pull-up 3 to try and take the lead. Wow, that was terrible. That was bad. It was a bad game, probably one of the worst games he's had as a New York Knick, which is unfortunate considering the atmosphere and considering Knicks fans obviously wanted him to do well after the season he's had. But again, let's give him some time. If he shoots 6 of 23 for the rest of the series, then we can slander him because that's what you got to do for someone who does that. But we're not doing it after game 1. Let's give him a chance to come back and redeem himself. In the 3 games prior to this against the Hawks, he's been dominant. He got some decent looks. He makes tough shots. That's what he does. He's a tough shot maker, a tough shot taker. Sometimes that doesn't work in your favor. That's the reality. When you take a lot of tough shots, the Knicks ask him to do that as well. Let's not act like the Knicks have some kind of unbelievable offense that if Randle wasn't taking these shots, they'd be creating shots either way. No. The Knicks need Julius Randle to take 20 shots a game, and normally they need him to make 10 of those. Unfortunately, tonight he only made 6 of those and had a terrible night. But with that being said, the Knicks still only lost by 2 points, with Trae Young having an unbelievable performance, Randle having one of the worst performances of his Knicks career, particularly this season. All of those things in mind, and the Knicks were still competitive because reality is their defense is always going to keep them in games. Do they have an answer for Trae Young? It hasn't looked like that. The last time they played him as well in the last game of the regular season, they looked to struggle against Trae because he was picking them apart. This time they kind of held back on Capella a little bit more, and in turn, he hit a few floaters, he got to the line a bit more, and he found open shooters instead of going to Capella. So they tried to take away Capella because last time they played Capella and the Hawks, he ended up with like 25 points and 20 rebounds. He dominated. This time they tried to take away that easy lob, at least from what I saw, and Trae ended up taking advantage of that. So that's what's going to happen, but it's pretty hard to imagine this isn't going to be a back and forth series. These are two teams, different styles, but are both pretty evenly matched, and the Hawks got 50 points out of their backcourt. That's what I was expecting. Those are the two stars of the offense, Bogdanovic and Trae Young. Obviously, Trae was this star player for the Hawks, but Bogdanovic's clutch threes should not go overlooked because he's someone that could average 20 points a game for this series. He has been averaging 20 points a game over the last 25 games. He's a clutch shooter, he's a big-time shooter, and he's going to be someone that can step up in the playoffs. John Collins made some plays on both ends of the floor. DeAndre Hunter wasn't exactly himself. He's still working back into it. The Hawks didn't have amazing performances from their guys, honestly. Outside of Trae, Bogdanovic, Capella did a bit on both ends of the floor. He was still active. You had Lou Williams, who came in and gave them some important minutes. That shouldn't go overlooked. He gave them some very important minutes in terms of that little stretch where the Hawks were down by about 8 points. He hit a 3-point shot and a 2-point shot right at the end of the third quarter to bring them back to 3 points, which was a huge swing because the Knicks go down and they score a bucket or something, lead by 10 at three-quarter time. That's a big difference between Lou Williams getting them some buckets and bringing them back into the game. So Lou will deserve some respect for that as well. In general, during games, I normally try to keep an eye on defense, offense, off the ball, just the littler things, even though I'm not saying I'm great at doing that because I do get distracted easily by the person with the ball. And this was one of those occasions. In this kind of game, I wasn't really focused on anything apart from someone like Trae Young controlling the offense, Alec Burks having an unbelievable game, Derrick Rose having a great game, the Knicks atmosphere, the crowd, the back and forth, the swings in the game. That's what captured my attention, apart from the off-ball movement and the defense. So I don't really have the most in-depth response to this kind of game or reaction. All I'm going to say is it was unbelievable. Give me 6 more of those. Give me 6 more of those games. Or 5 more. Either one works. Just give me more of those games and give me this matchup, because heading into this matchup, I knew it was going to be good, and so far it looks like it could be great. This could be a great series. If you've watched the channel recently, you know I've become a little bit of a fan of the Hawks. I just really like their team, not too much to it. So I am rooting for them in this series. But again, if the Knicks win the series in good fashion, if it goes to 7-6 games, then I won't be too mad. But I do want the Atlanta Hawks to win, and this is a good step for us. I say that, but this is a great game to see, and just shout out to Trae, shout out to the Hawks. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Anyways, apart from that, have a good day. I'll catch you next time. Bye.